Good day and welcome to Cooking Keto Southern Style with Randy. Today I have challenged myself to make a traditional Southern pecan pie, keto. So I've done some research, taken my favorite family recipes of pecan pie and converted it over into a keto pecan pie. So what I've done is actually fourthed this recipe and made 2 mini pies, and I'm going to make 2 more mini pies now to show you how to do that. There's actually 2 recipes within this video. One is the pie crust, and you can use this pie crust for any sort of pie you wanted to make. Chicken pot pie, beef pot pie, a shepherd's pie, whatever. It is came out as a pretty good little pie crust. I did blind bake it for about 10 minutes before I actually put the filling for the pecan pie into it. So what goes into the pecan pie crust is you have 1 cup of almond flour, 5 tablespoons of coconut flour, a ½ teaspoon of xanthan gum, a ½ teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt, then 3½ ounces of butter, a 1/4 of a cup of cold cream cheese. So make sure this is cold. You're going to need this in the food processor when you're making your pie crust. Then 1 large egg and 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. So what you do is you combine the in a food processor the 1 cup of almond flour, the 5 tablespoons of coconut flour, the xanthan gum, and the salt, and you pulse it and mix it up together. Then you add in the butter, the cream cheese, the beaten egg, and the vinegar, and you pulse it up just like you would if you were making a pie crust. It'll be a little crumbly. You pour it out on to a piece of a cling wrap, plastic wrap, and you're going to roll it up, and I'm going to show you that in just a minute. I've already made the pie crust. It takes an hour to rest in the refrigerator after you make it, so the fats can harden back up, so you kind of get that puffiness when you're cooking it. So I'm going to show you what the pie crust looks like. So here is my pie crust. This is 6 servings left. I actually had cut it in half, which was about right here, and there you can still see the 2 on the end that I stuck back on there. So what I did was purchase these little dishes. These are actually, you're going to be surprised, these are cat water bowls. They were 97 cents at Walmart, and then I lined them with aluminum foil and then coated it down and pressed in 1/8 of the total dough into this to form the pie crust. So we will do that now. So if you were doing this as the full recipe, making a full pie, you could actually take, you know, your Pyrex or your pie dish and coat it down with some nonstick olive oil or coconut oil spray in here, and then just basically roll out your pie crust between 2 pieces of parchment paper, put it in here just like you would typically make a pie crust, and then put the filling in. But in this case, we're going to actually take the small pans, the 2 of them that I have, and form 2 mini pies. So I'm going to go ahead and take off the last 2 segments right there, and then split this in half. And so each one of those are going to be pressed into the pie, and then this dough will be good for up to 3 days in your refrigerator. So, you know, you could do several different types of pies if you wanted to. You know, tomorrow night you can make a chicken pot pie. So You do not have to use all of it, and it does freeze well. So you can, wrap it up with some parchment paper and then put it in a Ziploc bag, get as much air out as you can and freeze it, and then you would have, pie dough ready to go. So I'm going to slide this to the side, and we're going to take the cooking spray, and I'm going to spray the dish, and then I just put it down. I actually coated my hands with some too, because this is a little sticky, like any other pastry dough. So we're going to push this down in here, and if I had another one, I actually would probably coat the bottom of the pie pan and push it down in there, and that would be a lot quicker than what I'm doing, and I wouldn't be touching it and the heat of my hands causing it to loosen up. So we're going to just push this up the wall as far as we can, and make sure that you don't have any holes in the bottom to create our pie crust. You could also use ramekins to do this with if you wanted to. So we're going to see how this works coming out of the oven, if it actually releases. It is a thinner pie crust than a traditional store-bought, or if you made it yourself. But I was really impressed with how well it did. So I'm trying to make sure I have it all about the same size. So there's that one. We'll go ahead and do the second one. And we're going to go ahead and blind bake these for about 10 minutes. So the pie crust like about 5 more minutes blind baking in the oven, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how to mix up the pie filling. For a standard pie, what you would need is 4 eggs, 1 cup of erythritol, 1 cup of fiber syrup gold, 1/4 teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 tablespoons of melted butter, and 8 ounces of pecans. So since I'm doing 2 mini pies, which is 1/4 of that recipe, I'm going to have 1 egg, 1/4 cup of the erythritol, 1/4 cup of the fiber gold syrup, just a pinch of salt, a 1/8 teaspoon of vanilla extract, a 1/2 teaspoon of melted butter, and then just 1 ounce of pecans. I'll tell you, this is a fiber gold syrup made by Sucred, and it is a very thick syrup. It does have 3 net carbs per 2 tablespoons. So there's 2 tablespoons in 1/4 cup. So basically you're getting 3 net carbs just out of this, and then you're getting net carbs out of the erythritol as well. We'll go over the total for a serving at the end of the video. I have also thought about taking a muffin pan, and instead of dividing it into 8, dividing it into 12, so you would kind of even reduce the amount of calories and the net carbs that you get out of it. However, when I did a calculation between the original recipe and this recipe that I've done, the calorie reduction is 250 calories less for 1 serving of this, 1/8 of this pie, and the net carbs are 61 grams less than the traditional, and I will have what the traditional and the keto version of this pecan pie is at the end of the video. So now we're going to mix up the ingredients for the pie filling. So in a bowl, you are going to actually put in the erythritol, then and that's 1/4 cup for this, for 2 of them. And then 1/4 cup of the fiber syrup gold, and this stuff is thicker. I mean, it's really good and thick, like Karo syrup would be. So we're going to get that in there. Let me get a spatula. You do need a spatula to make sure you get everything out of the measuring cup and then out of the bowl when we're doing this at the end. So I got that out. And we're going to add in the melted butter. And we're going to crack 1 egg into it. So we've cracked the egg. I'm going to break the yolk up and actually get this all incorporated real quick. So this is the egg, the erythritol, the syrup, and the butter. So we've got it. And it actually looks like pecan pie filling. Then I'm going to actually take just a pinch of salt, and then we're going to put in about 1/8 of vanilla extract. I don't actually have 1/8, I have a 1/4 measuring spoon, and I'm just going to kind of judge this. There we go, about half. And we're going to get that stirred up. And make sure that you do melt the butter so it incorporates really well into this. Let's move that out of the way and get my dishes over here. And then I'm about to bring out the pie crust. And you notice I hadn't put the pecans in. I find it easier to put the pecans into the baking dishes and then pour in the syrup. So you'll see I blind baked them without anything actually in them. They do puff up a little bit. I just kind of puff them down. They're kind of hot. But it does make a very good pie filling. So I'm going to try some puff pastry recipes with this stuff. So now I'm going to actually take my pecans and put about half in one pan and half in the other. And just kind of eyeball this. There we go. That's about even. And then we're going to divide the liquid filling into it in about half. Okay, so now I have both of them in there, and we're going to bake this for 35 minutes on 350 degrees in the center of the oven. So whenever we come back, I will have a completed one, and we will do a taste test. So here we go. Here are the 2 pecan pies that I've baked. You can see they're nice and brown and delicious, and we're going to go ahead and give it a taste test. So I'm about to give this delicious piece of pecan pie a taste test. Have not tasted one before, so this is me trying something new. Oh my word, this is good. And I'll go ahead and say it does not have the rich sweet, I call it cutting my teeth, sweetness, but oh my gosh, this pecan pie is delicious. My gosh, I can eat the whole thing. Holy crap. And actually, the crust is flaky and it is tender, and it is just freaking delicious. Man, that's good. Okay. It actually makes me want a glass of milk. So, if you try this recipe, let me know what you think by giving me a thumbs up or a thumbs down right down here below the video. If you have comments, make sure you put them below. I love to hear comments. If you have a Southern food challenge for me, post it down there and I will gladly accept it, do some research, and come up with a way to cook it. Please subscribe to my channel. And most of all, share my videos with others and help them on their keto journey. Y'all have a great day.